What is up, Theta homies? It is your boy Justinpacete back again with another Theta token video, another Theta token update. Just a friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel trying to find as much Theta news, updates, NFTs, or any kind of Theta partnerships, please hit that like and subscribe button. Check out all the links down below in the description for all the links I post in this video, as well as staking your Theta tokens to my Guardian node or staking your TVO tokens if there's room to my Elite Edge node. Either way, hop on my channel, hop at the Theta network, but overall help yourselves out, earn as much TVO passively as possible and utilize it however you want on Theta Drop, Open Theta, any of the subchains on Theta Network, or just withdrawing it back to your wallet. I do want to briefly announce of our sponsor for today's video of Caleb and Brown, but a little bit more on that later. We're going to see all the information that I have for you guys. Really am excited to share for you guys. Seeing here, we're going to see that.
I think it's a good time to, a good segue to the demo. So I'm going to share my desktop screen, and then we'll show you guys that how this new software looks like. Just give me 1 second here. I'm pulling up my this is the browser, so which shows the Theta Edge Cloud, right? So so on this under this AI product, so if you guys familiar with Edge Cloud, then right, there's a lot of feature here. So there are the on-demand model API, so which we just launched a few weeks ago, right? There are the dedicated model, so which we launched since last May, and then there are the Jupyter Notebook and GPU node, right? And all of this, behind all this, that Edge Cloud, the community node will be able to play very important roles under, behind each of these products. So, for example, for the on-demand model API, right? People can here, what they can do is that they can, let's say, for example, if they want to generate a image, right, from a prompt, they can click into it, right? And then here they can type in a prompt. For example, I want to generate a cat, right? And then on the right side here, right, you'll see in just a few seconds, right, a cat image is going to pop up right here. So really quickly, and also they can go to this API, right? If this is a developer, you want to integrate Edge Cloud with his app, right? You can use the either through HTTP requests, or they can do it through JavaScript and Python, right? And then once we have the Edge Cloud, the community node integrated into Edge Cloud, so what happened will be that so anytime a user is using this API endpoint, there'll be a job being created and then be scheduled onto one of the node in the network, right? So it can be a node in the cloud, but it also can be a node operated by a community member, right? And then, as you might have noticed here on the top right here, so it says it has a price tag, right? For example, if you run this Flux, then so the user, whoever used this product, is going to pay 1 cent per image, right? So that let's say if your Edge node is happen to host a model for this request, then you'll be able to get a certain percentage, right, out of this payment, right? So, and the same thing goes for every model, right? So this is how Edge node, community operated Edge node will be integrated into this on-demand model API, this product, right? But some of the developers, they might not want to share this API endpoint with others, right? They may want to launch their own dedicated model. So what they're going to do is to just go to this dedicated model launchpad and then select one of the model they want to use. For example, they may want to use this instant ID, right? So once they click on that, they can select a node and then launch this model onto that node. So here in the new version of Edge Cloud, you'll be able to see here has a selector called community nodes, right? Once you swipe it and then enable that, what you can see here from the drop down will be a set of community nodes, a list of community nodes that you can select from, right? So in our testing environment, we luckily have a few community members very supportive, being able to be volunteer to be our tester. So what you are seeing here is actually some of those are the machine actually supplied by one of our community members, right? A few of our community members. So this includes some of the 4070 machine and even 3090 machine and some of the high end, right? 4070 Ti machines here. So what I can do here is just select one of the machine and then click on deploy, right? And then you might notice here, there's a price tag here, but this is per hour, right? So not per job, but per hour. So which means that let's say if this developer used for 10 hours and the per hour price is like 13 cents, then he will need to pay $1.3, right, for the 10-hour usage, and you get a cut of that, right? So this is for the second product, right? And then this goes very similar for Jupyter Notebook, right? So consider a case where a university student, right, he wants to do develop an AI model, and then he wants to do a quick experiment. He might want to launch a Jupyter Notebook, and then in this case, a similar thing that he can turn on the community node selector, and then here he can also see those machines, right? And then be able to launch that onto one machine and start using it, right? And the payment model here is very similar, is paid by time, right, per hour. So in this case, if you select this TI machine, then it's more expensive, right? So if you use for 10 hours, you pay $3.2, and then a good percentage will go to whoever hosts this node. Right? So this is a Jupyter Notebook. And GPU node, so this is one of our most popular product, right? Especially for the university students, right? What we hear here is that we will have a customized UI dedicated to the community GPU. So we want to launch a GPU node, and then there's a tab here that says community GPUs. Once I click on it, you can see a dedicated UI for that. So you see the list of GPU node here, but we even add some more advanced filters and ordering columns here, so that you can, once we have, let's say, 1,000 of node, even 10,000 node, that you can imagine it will be pretty difficult to find, right, the CPU you need if you only have a one-dimensional list. But since we are adding all this filter, right, they can filter, for example, I only want RTX 4070. If I click on it, and then after a few seconds, so we will just filter whatever you need for you, right? Very similarly, so if you want to filter based on the VRAM size, right? Let's say I'm training a pretty advanced model which requires like at least 16 gigabyte of VRAM. So here, so 7, and then let's say 12, right? So so whoever doesn't meet the standard, we got eliminated from the list. So you can select whatever is remaining, right? So, and then of course you can refresh it so that to reset all the criterion, and then all the machines will show, right? So once you select a machine, then the remainder is pretty similar to the current experiences. You just select a image you want to run, and then you paste in your public key, and then you're good to go from there, right? So this is on the front end. So what a client or a user of Edge Cloud will see, but what happened on your desktop as a node operator, right? So let me switch to switch to my terminal here. So what is showing here is a RTX 4070 node, right? So here is a machine we have in the office, right? So we use for testing, right? So here is where, assuming you have Linux machine, right? This here is where you install the Edge node software, and then be able to interact and see your payout and all that, right? So in order to install it, so we have this command. I think it's so it's pretty standard, right? So it's standard apt command, right? So you do the apt update, and then just one line apt install, and then only upgrade, and this is just for upgrade. But if you just install Edge Cloud. So maybe it take a few seconds or a minute depending on your network bandwidth. Then you install the software, right? So once that is installed, and then you just do a sudo Edge Cloud start. So this Edge Cloud software will run in the background, and then ready to accept new jobs, right? So I've been running this node on this machine for a while. So my Edge Cloud client has already accepted a bunch of work, right? So let me show you how you can see those. So this is sudo Edge Cloud and a status, right? So it might ask you for a password for the node because you're doing sudo. So okay, so we print a bunch of information here, but for example, what's your wallet address, right? This is the wallet created by this Edge node client automatically, and then so at the end of month, so the TP reward is going to this wallet address, right? So and then you can transfer it out to your other wallet. So below here, so there's a couple important lines in the status, this section. So for example, the status currently is connected to the Edge node, right? So then everything's good for me. So I can receive job, right? I can earn TFU. So it also shows the current price per hour, right? So this is what Mitch was talking about, is the free marketplace. You can set whatever price you want for your machine. So in the beginning, we'll recommend a price, right, based on your spec. But after that, after installation, you can feel free to change it to whatever. So I will show you how to do that in a moment. And after that, so what you see here is that the reward you get since the beginning of this month, right? So in this case, the total reward I got in this testing environment is $42, right? And then it has two categories. The first category is deployment reward. So deployment, just recall what I just demoed. So whenever someone start let's say Jupyter notebook or GPU node or a dedicated deployment to your machine, then you start counting by time, right? So this is how much I earned in this past 2 weeks or so, right, from deployment. And then there's this job reward. So this job reward refers to the job from the on-demand API, right? For example, for this node, I think I got in a, I think it's today, right? Earlier today, so I got this stable diffusion, tuple vision jobs, right? And each one, I was get paid by, I think it's 0.7 cent per job. But this accumulates, so right, if you have a hundred or even thousands of jobs per day, then this can go pretty high. Right? And then come back to this deployment section. So what we are seeing here is that just earlier today, there was a deployment of this Jupyter notebook, right, onto my node, so which I can also give you a demo in a minute, right? So which earned me like 5 cents, 6 cents, but that's because he only used it for half an hour, right? Let's say if it's running a long job like some training for a day or two, then this could be much higher, right? So yeah, I think you can get the idea. So how to set the price? Remember, what we have here is 10 cents, right? So whether I can set it to a different price. So if you don't know the command, just do sudo edge cloud, and then we'll print out the available commands, right? Options. So to set the price, then you use this set. So edge cloud set, and then if you don't know how to do that, just do help, right? It will say that I can set the price in the dollar amount, right? So let's say I will do sets, and then price. Let's say I reduce my price, right? And you said that once I execute this price will be set to 0.09. It's like 9 cents per hour, and then maybe I will get more jobs because this is cheaper. And then I can verify that by doing the status again, and then you see here, right? This price got changed, right? So here, yeah. So next, I want to demo to you that if I'm going back to Edge Cloud, then whether I can actually schedule a deployment, which is a Jupyter notebook, right, onto this node, right? And then let's see how we can achieve that, right? So now I'm coming back here, and then let's say I want to deploy a Jupyter notebook. Come here, start a notebook, and then remember to turn on this slider, this node slider. And here I know. Yeah, I think this one, right? This one is my the node, the office node. So select on that, right? And then it sets up the price. If you remember earlier, so this one was 13 cents. That was because the original price was set to 10 cents, and then we charged some markup, right? The platform fee. But since I reduced to 9, so it's also reduced by 1 cent, right? So and then so what I can do here is that maybe I can name this notebook to test. Something like that, and then I select right this container image, right? I will recommend you get to set a password, but for the take a quick demo, I will set that. So okay, as you can see, we'll automatically navigate to this UI, which shows that I'm trying to launch a node, right? And will probably take, I think, a few minutes to get up and running. But let me switch back to this terminal and see anything change. So I do a status query.
Things that's hard to mimic is good quality service and customer service, and being able to reach out to someone in regards to your cryptocurrency. With Caleb and Brown, they'll be able to provide you that access, that opportunities, and information that a lot of people may need in the near future. So seeing here, we're going to look at a little bit more of this affiliate link that you can find down below in the description. As you can tell here, with Caleb and Brown, delivers a personalized and premium service to crypto trading. Each customer gets their own dedicated broker to contact at any time, getting the latest insights on crypto trends, guidance, and when you need it, or in the initial introduction for my channel. Scrolling down a little bit more, things you can do: 24/7 customer support globally, industry-leading cold storage solutions, and unlimited free access to your personal broker offers peace of mind, whether you're trading as individual, company, trust, or self-managed retirement. Here are no joining fees, broker support, safe and secure, favorable pricing on assets, rapid trades, deep liquidity. Things going on to a little bit more, you can chat, message, call, as well as provide some feedback that is always welcome. I believe with Caleb and Brown has the potential to help those who achieve certain financial or cryptocurrency goals. Check out Caleb Brown and definitely check it down below using the affiliate link. Thanks for the guys listening for this introduction, and back to the video.
Right. Since the deployment is ongoing, right, it's trying to schedule to this node, then so in this current deployment section, it still says that no deployment is currently running on this machine, but we'll see that hopefully it will change pretty soon. Yeah, but yeah, this is pretty.
This is all real
time
right?
demo. So I'm not sure it's going through or not, but I'm hoping so.
Right. And in real world use cases, this delay, if a university team is or any research team, right, with any customers they're deploying this, it's not an issue, right? If it takes a minute or two to spin up. But in this case, it's running through the scheduler, through a bunch of different optimization logic to figure out and to then get that over to your particular node, your particular machine, wherever you happen to be around the world, right? And so it's going through all that.
Definitely not a trivial problem, right? So consider that the community node can be anywhere in the world, right? So yeah, it can be in North America here, but also can be other places, right? Very far from here, but so we have to be able to organize the resource around the globe, and then be able to make use of it, right? As we are talking, actually, it's come up pretty quickly, right? So now it says like the status is ready, so I can open the terminal, the Jupyter Notebook. So click on it, right? This one takes also 30 seconds-ish to load, but for whoever have already used this Jupyter Notebook, so it's all pretty familiar, right? So you can, open the terminal here, and then you can type in NVIDIA SMI, so which will show the GPU of this node. So yeah. Oh, in this case, so this is mapped to actually not the node I was selecting, but it's the 3090. So it's actually some small bug in a selection of UI, but it's actually means that it's not mapping to a node in our office, but actually mapping to a node somewhere in one of our community volunteers.
I think it's a community node, right?
Right, so community volunteers node, right.
If you're watching us, you probably
can check. Right.
You could probably go to a computer.
You can go to a computer and then type in this command studio status, and then you should see right in this current deployment.
So if I remember, I mean, some of our testers all over the world in Europe, somewhere in Europe, right? So it's very possible that this particular job got assigned, and all the metadata and everything else associated has already been pushed to your local machine.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll download the container, and then I can so from this office here to connect to wherever this node is running, and then I can run this command. I can run Python, right? I can import PyTorch, and then start. Let's say I want to do training, whatever. So I can do it here, right? Yeah. So hopefully this one gives you an idea of how it works. So. Right, so it's a free market, right? So you can set your own price, right? So and then on the other end, whoever use Edge Cloud platform can select whichever machine they want, right, at whatever price, right? So it's kind of a matching.
It's absolutely stunning. I mean, we believe that this is really groundbreaking because really for the first time ever, the workflow and how AI researchers, train their models and everything that they do here through the dashboard interface they're already familiar with it. I mean, the main things that we've abstracted, we made it so easy for them to pick a community node that's operated by you guys, by the community, and make it so easy that they can basically, based on certain criteria, and optimize to be able to push that through, and then they can either and we talked to a lot of our professor at Stanford, right, told us that sometimes their jobs, they're looking for stable nodes where they can run their jobs for 5 days, 7 days straight, nonstop. And so that's really groundbreaking to be able to select a node, right, immediately from this interface.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then what was good thing is that they use it, they pay it in maybe in US dollar, but you guys will be able to receive it in TFIL, right? So yeah. And then they get their job done, and then you got reward.
It's a great way of rewarding also the node operators that have always had great uptime and taken that seriously as part of their operation, running their nodes. I think then they're really going to get the recognition for that when they start getting selected for jobs like this because of that. So for all these, they've been running dedicated edge nodes for a long time now. This is why you do it. It's going to be appreciated and rewarded by the partners.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this concludes the demo. Okay.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It really feels like this is what maybe the most, or almost certainly the most involved that the community and node operators are going to be in the network and really actually be able to do the core work with data and what Edge Cloud is. So it's a huge step. So shifting topics a little bit, one question we got a bunch of different from a bunch of different angles was questions about the incentives to hold Theta versus TFIL and how we view that, which is a complicated topic, but a pretty interesting one. We're somewhat it's somewhat uncommon to have two native tokens as Theta does, and that's always created a little more complexity with that, and especially given that you earn TFIL for Theta. So you have two market traded assets. One of the more specific concerns I hear or questions or comments is that they notice that TFIL staking has a much higher yield. Sometimes 5, 6, 7% depending on market versus Theta, which is staking Theta, which is something like 2%. Currently, I believe. And I think an important distinction that a lot of people don't realize is we don't actually set the rate for Theta because it's two assets that trade. It's really the market and the holders that determine what the yield is for Theta. Kind of topical for today, but it's sort of a myth that the government sets bond rates, but in reality, it's the market that sets those by supply and demand. And so I sometimes hear a subtext that's like, why don't you raise the yield for Theta? But one, we can, and two, you might argue that's would not be a good thing that happens. I mean, if anything, I think it's the other sort of the reverse of the issue is people have weighted Theta above TFIL. Maybe that's a brand name recognition or something that's a little more understandable to digest. But despite the difference in yields, it's actually Theta that's more in demand as a token. Maybe part of that's because it's still early in the adoption curve. But so as to the answer of which should you hold, what do you buy? I mean, I think it kind of depends on what you're looking at. I mean, if you're looking for, not to get too much into what sounds like investment advice, but just to make an analogy, yield, bond, dividend stocks, that kind of thing. You can see that TFIL is a higher yield. Theta, it feels to me a little more treated as a bet on the future adoption of the network. But of course, the other critical thing to point out is that a lot of people are now more and more users of the network as well. They want to use Edge Cloud for AI services or to launch their own projects that they're going to be running, independent research or independent AI projects that they want to launch. And so if you expect to be a consumer of the product as well, then I would definitely say that's the strongest incentive on TFIL, is it's effectively, token is a good term to use because it's similar to directly buying tokens for ChatGPT. You're buying piece of future use of the network. But it won't go too much into financial advice on which is which, but it's just a couple of things important to point out. It's not so much a which is better situation. They serve different purposes, and it kind of depends on what you're thinking.
But overall, that's all I really have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much if you're an OG viewer and subscriber and coming back to the channel. Would not be here without you. If you're a new viewer, though, trying to find as much Theta news, updates, NFTs, or any kind of Theta partnerships, please hit that like and subscribe button. Check out all the links down below in the description for all the links that I posted in this video, as well as staking your Theta tokens to my Guardian node, or staking your TFL tokens if there's room to my Elite Edge node. Either way, help out my channel, help the Theta network, but overall help yourselves out. Earn as much TFL passively as possible and utilize it however you want on Theta Drop, Open Theta, any of the subchains on Theta Network, or just withdrawing it back to your wallet. Really am excited for the future of Theta Network, future partners, any collaborations, businesses, things like that. I'm still going to be optimistic. Of course, that's the reason why this channel is still growing and people are still subscribing to the channel and people are still staking. So I'm glad to say that there's still hundreds of thousands of Theta tokens on my Guardian node and equivalent to TFuel on the Elite Edge node. So as of right now, I believe it could be full. I am also thankful for the sponsors that are coming onto the channel. I also would not be here without you guys, so thank you very much. Really am looking for the future of Theta though. Until the next Theta video, till the next Theta update, it is your boy Justinpacete, so try to keep up. Alright, deuces.